Happy Monday, guys. Welcome to Brush Your Bet for Monday, June 28th. Third time recording. I did it in slow-mo, then I didn't record it. Mildly tilting, but we power through. We'll roll through the slate, then cruise through the power rankings. I think that's what we're going to try and do, like a different segment for every day of the week. So we'll do power rankings on Monday, sooner rather than later, like UFC day on Wednesday, Thursday, as that's a big passion project of ours. Maybe a player spotlight day, like a team spotlight for the week kind of thing, like we would have done maybe Tariq Skubal yesterday, highlighted his fly ball arsenal against the Astros. He impressed in spades, definitely going to be a guy we're going to look to buy. Really kind of like that young Detroit rotation, but so we'll build that out together. Any ideas anyone has, like comment, ideas, things you want to talk about, whatever. Would love to hear what people want to talk about, what we want to talk about, rolling through the slate. The Pirates, Rockies over 11. I think we have to lean Pittsburgh in that game after watching them just continue to roll over the weekend. Every time you turn on the game, it's like a Ferris wheel. No. Like scrambled eggs, or like that runaway train thingy that goes like avalanche train. Carousel, like a carousel. Continues to go around. The Pittsburgh offense is cooking. I don't know how many times for the last however many years I've taken Kyle Freeland against Pittsburgh thinking that's an okay matchup. It's not. No better this time. Colorado, very familiar with Tyler Anderson as he came up in the Rockies organization. Should allow them to have enough success there. I'm pretty sure it's a matinee game. We're going to have some balls flying out in Colorado. Like the over in that spot. Definitely got to lean Pittsburgh with how they're playing. The DBacks plus 150 and the over there at 8.5 juiced up at like minus 115, minus 120, or a 9 at like even money. I think either one's fine. Feria versus LeBlanc with these two bullpens, definitely think it should go over. I don't know when the D-backs got Feria. Like the last time I remember him was like as a young prospect for the Rays, where I was actually pretty high on, and then he just kind of dropped off. I remember he came up for like an MLB stint or two and then kind of disappeared. But Arizona hits lefties much better than righties. They're finally out of the gutter, and they've got a world of road regression to make up. I mean, they lost like 24 straight games, so probably some positive regression to go there. The Cardinals are just playing so bad. I think they just had a kid in his debut, like no hitting them like into the 6th or later. It was basically like a rain delay that stopped the embarrassment. I just think the spread is way too wide at plus 150 for that. I think bullpen struggles for both teams, both these starters, I think we clearly go over, like a 9-5 game or something like that. The Brewers minus 140. I think it's Peralta versus Hendricks. I think Hendricks is a pretty big regression candidate, at least in my book. He's a 3.84 ERA, but a 5+ FIP. 30+% hard hit rate, his highest zone contact rate since his second year in the league. I think that's a big issue, especially because he's not getting a lot of swings and misses on the zone with his changeup, which is that's Kyle Hendricks, the changer fastball combo. He does have arguably the best changeup in baseball, but if he's not getting swings and misses on that, he's basically having success because a lot of opponents are chasing him way out of the zone. He's got nearly a 40% chase rate, which when you're not Jacob deGrom, it's going to be due for some regression when people stop chasing him. The Brewers are top 7 or 8 in the league in pitches seen per plate appearance. When people stop chasing, he's going to have some problems. I think he limits the damage. I would still lean the under in this game, even though it's down to 7, because Freddie Peralta has just been awesome. He actually has a super low chase rate, so he's a sub 30% chase rate, while Hendricks is up near 40. When Peralta matures, as he hits the golden age pocket of 27, 28, 29, 30, and that chase rate gets above 30, I think he's going to be a dangerous man. I don't know, weirdly, I kind of have the Brewers as like my sneaky World Series pick. If you've been following, you know how in love with them I am. But yeah, we'll touch on that stuff more in the power ranking segment. But I like the Brewers there, would lean the under. The Giants plus 165 over the Dodgers, who are also not playing good baseball right now. I watched a good portion of that series, and I don't know if that was like the Cubs' magic running out or what, but I still don't think the Dodgers are playing good baseball. DeSclafani against Bauer, two guys that are on that spin rate decline list we talked about. Obviously, Bauer's like a headliner of it. But, yeah, I think the spread is just similar to the D-backs. It's just way too wide with how both teams are playing. San Fran, we are going to start selling them against left-handed pitching, especially after today. I still, after watching the game, don't think Irvin has the type of arsenal that should have given them those kind of problems. But against a righty like Bauer, who's kind of struggling, I mean, the spread is just way too wide with how DeSclafani's pitched, whether he's on that list or not. I think it'll be a similar story tomorrow with Buehler on the mound. I think we're going to probably end up taking the Giants as a big dog in both games. I don't think them and the D-backs lose. You know, if the Giants and the D-backs lose, if you comment on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram, just comment, and both those lose, I will make it the free roll for you, and I will send you some monies. Leans wise, leaning the under in the Detroit-Cleveland game, under 9.5, but the Detroit bullpen's kind of scaring me off it. I can see Cleveland just punishing them late, Detroit kind of falling apart after the emotional series with Hinch playing the Astros and them taking a couple games. But I like both these young pitchers, and we're going to be looking to buy them in the future. We took Eli Morgan opposite Kyle Hendricks actually last time out, and it didn't work out for us as a big dog, but I thought the kid pitched amazing outside of like 5 at-bats that way got away from him. But outside of those 5 at-bats, I think he pitched really, really well, trajectory up. I also like the Manning kid. Happened to watch a good portion of his start against the Angels last time out. I think he had like 5 2/3 of 1-run ball, ends up getting pulled with a couple runners on. But for me, it was the way he responded, the way he commanded the hill. Very respectful, very composed, stoic. And you could tell he didn't want to come out of the game, but held everything together very, very well for a young guy. I don't know. I'm a fan of both of those guys. Again, Detroit cooking with that rotation for the future. But I'm pegging Cleveland's bullpen for regression. Detroit's bullpen's going to be in rough shape tomorrow night. I'm a little scared on the back half of it, maybe like a first 5 under. I don't really play first 5s. And then the Yanks, minus 155, I lean that. I probably like the over more. Bundy versus King. Just the problem is just I don't know, we have trouble with the Angels, whether it's in the Bronx or out in Los Angeles or Anaheim, wherever they play in that weird little parking lot in Anaheim. We always have trouble with them. I think we get to Bundy to whatever extent. The Angels have a very overused bullpen, so I see us getting runs late either way. So, I don't know. Taking us against the Angels never works out well. I think the over is a much better play. I think it's like 10 or something, a little high. I'll probably end up at least nibbling on that. And then I'll have my eyes open for a good Nationals line against the Mets. We don't know who's pitching yet, but it's Eichhoff for the Mets. We're still buying the Nationals and their bats, especially here against a guy like Eichhoff, who we don't think is very good and we're very familiar with. I think he spent his whole career in the NL East. Oh, that's the time to lose it. But yeah, the Mets bats, they just continue to struggle. I think they rely way too much on Lindor and timely hits from Dominic Smith. Like I would have expected Alonso and McCann not to just be like such net, whatevers, but not positives. I think they're going to be relying. I mean, they need a massive push from McNeil, Conforto, and then whenever Nemo gets back to like push themselves back into that like World Series relevant category. This is a team I had really, really high hopes for. I've been leaving them in the top 5. But this offense, it's not going to cut it. Like, Every time I see like Kevin Pillar taking a big at bat for this team, I'm just like, ay. But yeah, I think both bullpens should be in good shape, so we should be fine there. But yeah, I think like under minus 140, something like that. I don't know, whatever. Depending on the pitching matchup, I think we have our eyes on the Nationals. In terms of power rankings, Dodgers maintain their top spot. We're just gonna slot the Dodgers in every single week. Mookie's enough for me with that team. The talent, Mookie, everything. But when you have a leader like that, and that kind of talent gap, I think we just leave them right there. Somebody truly has to knock them off. Moving the Brewers back up to 2, we just talked about that. I think when this lineup comes back together with this starting pitching, the names in the bullpen, I think they're like middle of the pack in bullpen ERA right now. I think we have some positive regression to go out of the Milwaukee bullpen. They have a lot of just positive regression in general, and they're still like 15 games over 500. I like that team. I don't even think is Wong even at the top of the lineup? No, right? That's my sneaky team. San Fran, we're looking for regression against left-handers. Bullpen regression out of both Tampa Bay and Cleveland. After that Houston series where Chicago got swept in the 4 games, which we said was a big statement series, I no longer believe in them at all. As much as I want to be like a Jose Abreu, a Dominican party kind of guy, good story. It's just not going to happen. I don't believe in them. Is the Cubs magic dying now? We don't like the Angels, Cardinals, or Phillies right now in particular. Really want to buy the Marlins. They're like top 7 in bullpen ERA. They have the talent, a lot of these things. It's just a combination of like horrible luck and just poor timing on literally everything for that team. Because you look at like the peripherals of the team, it's like this team should be a lot better. Sooner or later, that has to translate into some wins. I think they're probably the biggest team I'm looking to buy right now. And then, so I mentioned it with Milwaukee, but I think this is interesting. If anybody has anyone other than these 7 teams, I would love to hear in the comments. But right now, if I'm pegging teams with a possibility of winning the World Series, I'm going with it's going to be the Dodgers, Brewers, Giants, Red Sox, Yankees, Braves, or Cubs. I think it's going to be one of those 7 teams. If you have someone other than one of those 7 teams, I would love to hear who it is. I know a couple of my picks are a little wild. People are going to think, why don't you have the Padres? I don't have the Padres precisely for like the inverse of the reason I still have the Braves. The Braves are a super talented team that's like a younger core, whatever, but they came up together. And then they took the licks, that Dodgers season where I don't know, I just remember they basically got 1 hit off of Walker Buehler the whole series. You gotta have moments like that to come up through the ranks in pro sports, college sports, whatever. It's just the way it happens. You take your licks, whether you like whatever, the Royals getting stranded 90 feet away, whatever it may be, that's just the way it goes. San Diego, no matter how talented they are, no matter how well the bullpen's performing, what kind of studs they have at the front end, whether they have Fernando Tatis or not, you got to take those licks. They're not winning this year. I'm comfortable not leaving them in. I'm not leaving Houston in because I think I just don't like them. But yeah, I'm interested. I think Boston has some magic this year. We got some juice. Cubs, clearly, you want to break up a band like that, it's going to produce a little something. And everyone knows I love Atlanta. Yeah, I think it's one of these 7 teams. I'd love to hear if somebody has anyone different. But for today, the Pirates, Rockies over 11. That's an early start. Lean Pittsburgh if we're taking aside. The D-backs plus 150 and the over in that spot. 8.5 and 9 are both fine. The Brewers minus 140, the Giants plus 165. Probably going to end up taking the Yankees over, and let's keep our eyes peeled for a good Nationals line. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend, and happy Monday. I will talk to you tomorrow.